Hey guys, welcome back to another episode here on CrossFit Garage. We want to help you build a firm foundation in fitness, food, and finances. And today we are going to go through some pillars for health. So it's these, I basically took this from Ben Bergeron, who has CrossFit New England and CompTrain and a couple others, but he says they're the 5 principles of health. And I'm going to walk you through what I do. So this is just a local Woodstock 50-year-old guy and what he's doing for health and fitness. Some of these things will resonate. Some of these things you may think, oh, wow, that's pretty interesting. I've never done that. Or maybe even tried that and said, hey, I'm not really into that. So I am trying something new thanks to Levi. I have got the computer set up and making this a YouTube video as well as an audio. I'll strip out the audio and put it on our podcast. So if you want to watch it, you can go on YouTube. The channel is weirdly, it's titled Andy McCann because back in, I don't know, like 2008 when I got on YouTube, I didn't really know what we were doing back then. And I just called it my name. And anyway, so it'll go live there, but this will be also in a podcast format. And I'll try to throw the links to stuff in the show notes. So in addition to what I do in these 5 principles of health, I'm also going to go at the end, if there's some time, or I'll make it a separate episode, what I use gear-wise when I'm, doing either CrossFit or just my healthy stuff, right? So, spoiler, I don't use much gear, so it'll be an easy episode, or an easy tail end piece. Okay, so you guys know here at CrossFit Garage, our goal is to help you become the hero of your own story, and part of that is equipping you with this information. So this is really why I'm doing it. I want to have opportunities for you guys here to hear things that you can do to say, hey, I can be the champion, I can be the hero and get my life back. I can do this. So again, I'm pulling this information today. I'm taking it from Ben Bergeron and hold on, I'm having a problem with my screens. There it goes. So here's a podcast he does. I love this podcast. It's called Chasing Excellence. And he talks with Patrick Cummings, and they basically go through questions within these 5 principles, right? And it's just a great podcast. If you guys are looking for something to listen to help in the mindset phase, and I'll get there eventually, this is a good one. So I just wanted to give him a shout out because this is good information they put out, and I'm piggybacking on top of it for sure. So he also has CompTrain, which is his online training regimen. And let's see what else I got here. All right, there we go. I had to pause and fix my computer. I have way too many tabs open, and I'm finally getting some pushback from all the RAM that I installed. They're like, no, not enough. Okay, so 5 principles of health. You can see it on the screen. I'm going to read this for you. Again, it's in both formats. So first is nutrition, then sleep or recovery, if you will, exercise or move, mindset, and relationships. So if you want to live a healthy and long life, if you cover these 5 aspects, I would actually add in maybe a 6th one, which is finances, because if you want to live a long life, you should have some money. Otherwise, it's going to be not great, right? Or you're going to rely on other people. So if you move through these, you are going to find yourself at a much better place when you're in your 90s or later. Some of these things are going to make obvious sense to most of you. Some of you may be hearing this for the first time, right? So nutrition, man, it is key because it affects everything inside your body. It is a fuel that makes everything work. So whether it's just simply calories, gaining weight, or nutrients to fuel muscle growth, or proper hormone production, or brain function, or help push you away from disease, or lean you into disease, right? Even like going as far as gut health. So nutrition is going to be key. I'm going to show you what I'm going to do for this, right? The next one is going to be sleep. Basically, you want to get 7 or more consecutive hours of sleep. And I usually get about 8. And I don't know if they would categorize getting up to go to the bathroom as part of it. So I don't know if I get 8 hours of continuous sleep because of that. But the idea there is create an environment for you to sleep appropriately. So sleep is going to reduce a lot of risk factors in many things. Exercise, that's move. It can be anything. Obviously, you know I do CrossFit. I'm going to walk through exactly what we're doing in there too. There's many things we can do here. Some easy ones. As you get older, your bone density is going to get all messed up, osteoporosis and all that. So one thing you really want to get into is lifting some weights, some strength training. But we don't want to not do the other stuff. So that's, I think, why CrossFit is a great play here. But the next one is mindset. In some cases, this is almost more important than any of them because if your mind is in the wrong place, then it doesn't really matter, right? It's going to lead the ship. And if the ship is, or if the compass is pointing to the wrong direction, you're going to end up in the wrong place. So you need to have a good idea on how to gain that positive mindset. Not just positive, but the framework in with which you look at the world. So are you fighting everybody or are you pulling everyone up? I think he says it is, do I live in a friendly world or a hostile world? I choose to live in a friendly world, but like what did Ronald Reagan say, trust but verify. So I do have a concealed carry permit just in case someone gets stupid. I can handle that, right? Anyway, it's not just that side of it, but I think this leads into many of the things. If your mindset is aiming in the right direction, then these guys are going to come underline, right? The next is relationship. And they did a study. I forgot where it came from, but they were talking about, they followed people who lived a long time and showing the different things that they had done. And the group that had lived the longest actually had healthy relationships. So it's not just, yeah, I know somebody. And I guess all the social media apps sort of let you know people and see what's going on without diving deep. And I'm going to tell you what I do to dive deep. And some of you may say, Andy, that's too systematic, but I am an engineer and I know that I have a failing in many times with sympathy and empathy and just understanding how to reach out. I see these things in my dad, and we had to talk about it the other day. I was like, hey, as a grandfather, I don't know, I would do it differently because you don't really reach out to any of the grandkids, and that's your deal, but I think I'll do it differently, right? So you get to see what other people are doing, and then you can react to that. Okay, so let me slide into the next thing here. Let me hit pause here. My dog wants to come in the office. Okay, so little tangent here. I got Ollie. You can sort of see him in the background here. He is our Great Pyrenees. I might not have really thought that one through when we adopted him, because he is huge and he's only 10 months old and he is really hard to walk. Thanks to Louie, I've got a trainer coming out and helping me basically train him. So she's really training me because I'm an idiot, and she's like, the dog knows what it's doing and you just need to be not so stupid. I'm like, thank you. No, she didn't say that. She's great. But I can read between the lines. It's all me. Okay, so in the video, this may look a little strange. I've got two screens going. This screen on my right has what you're watching. The screen on my left has my notes, so I can stay somewhat on track because Tangents and I are good friends. Okay, so I do have a YouTube page, YouTube channel or whatever. It's just called Andy McCann, so you can go find me there. I actually am trying to update it because Levi says, Dad, you need to actually use the tools correctly. I'm like, yeah, I'll get there. I'm a fan of 80% done is perfect. Let's just get this thing out there. All right, so eat. Many of you guys know this. I don't eat sugar. It's been a long time. It's been about 10 years. 10, 9, 10, 11, something like that. It's been a very long time. I haven't had sugar on purpose. Sometimes it gets snuck in there. Not just regular old sugar, but any type of sweetener, honey. Someone asked me the other day, do you eat fruit? The answer is yes, I would totally eat fruit, but fruit is too sweet. So I find that I cannot actually eat fruit because it just, weirdly, in 10 years, I've actually come to dislike sweetness. And, maybe that makes me a bitter person. Dun. But it's been an interesting journey, and that's a whole other podcast. I think I've got one. I know I've got one on how to not eat sugar. You can go look that up. But basically, I don't eat sugar. Now, that comes with some unintended consequences. One way I got myself off of sugar, I tried a lot of things. And unfortunately, I found that I had to limit my grain intake because it kept triggering me to want the sweetness. So anyway, right now, I also limit my carbs dramatically. So no grains of any type for right now. I'd have nothing against grains. I love like the bread breakers. We did an episode with them. My family eats all that. We make whole fresh bread. But when I eat bread, I want to have sweet stuff. So I've got to, anyway, my goal is no sugar. Okay, so the next thing is these morning smoothies. So you can see on the video right here on one of the playlists, it's got a smoothie, Vitamix Yummy. So I eat the same thing every morning, and it's been, I don't know, more than the 10 years that I haven't done sugar. So it's a pretty basic breakfast, but it gets me some protein. It's easy to make. It's very consistent, reduces decision fatigue. You can watch that video to kind of, see exactly what's going in there. But I like the idea of consistency and easy to reproduce steps. I just did a podcast with Levi. I didn't realize he's been eating the same smoothie concoction for the last couple months, especially while he's trying to enter into hypertrophy and really getting some muscle growth. All right. I do eat lots of meats and lots of fats. So when I go out to eat with people, they're like, that is very strange. You have a lot of meats and fats on your plate. And I don't mind eating all of the fat off the steak. I'm totally into that. Usually I'll order one that doesn't have much fat, but I'm good with those things. So I'm eating that. I'm eating fat. I usually do a fast between, like, I'll go to bed probably about 9 to 9:30. I'm trying to get in there. 10 o'clock, I'm definitely asleep, and I'm up by 6 a.m. I usually eat my breakfast smoothie by 6:30. So there's something like a 10 to 12 hour fast, depending on when I didn't eat, or when I stopped eating dinner or finish eating dinner. So I'm not as intentional about that, but I do love the idea of a longer break to let your stomach really digest the things that it's got. There's a lot of days where I skip lunch, so I'm not a huge eater. I have found as I enter into my 50s, my metabolism kind of has slowed down. So I'm just listening to it and saying, am I really hungry or am I just thirsty? And weirdly, sometimes when you guys feel like you need sugar, your body's actually screaming for salt. It's just getting those signals mixed. So try that out sometime. All right. I've got some thing. Oh, that's not there yet. I don't know where that one comes in. That's probably later on. But I've got some items here I do want to show you. Oh, that's my snacks. I'll get to those in a minute. Okay, so let's see. At Publix, what do I eat? I got some of these mixed up. So my go-to on the peanut butter is Publix Greenwise Organic Creamy Peanut Butter. I eat probably a jar. In 3 days, I'll polish off a jar. And then my other go-to is this Kerrygold Pure Irish Butter Salted. I like the salted one. And I'll polish off one of those. It's basically 2 sticks together. I'll finish that off in probably 2 or 3 days as well. So I go through butter pretty quick. I don't drink alcohol, not because I have anything against it. It's just, it turns to sugar. And I'm, of course, looking to reduce that. So, and most alcohols are grain alcohols, right? So anyway, I just sort of avoid that mostly because it's the sugar thing. I probably would be a very easy drunk, and I'm usually a pretty fun drunk guy or drinking guy, so I get more like fun Bobby, but anyway, I don't do it. Typically when I'm eating, it's going to be something like I take some deli meat and some cheese and I roll it up. So we used to call those as kids, we'd call them a wagon wheel. So I'll throw a pickle in there, some mustard. I I also do the spoonful of peanut butter like I just showed you right there with this creamy peanut butter, the Greenwise peanut butter. Just grab 3 spoons, eat and go, and I'm done, right? That's a good snack for me. I'll use these guacamole cups. Let me see if I think I've grabbed. Yeah. So this, I don't have any to pronounce that. Sabra single guacamole. I don't actually like the spicy ones. I like the plain ones, which I think is that picture right there. No, that's just the backside. Because I'm just not a huge fan of spice. And this one particularly gets me, although I am experimenting with more spicy wings. So that's a different taste. So it's just a way to get away from sugar. I do eat a lot of sweet potatoes, and you'd think of the name sweet, they'd be really sweet, but they're not really. But that's a base layer for many things that I do is a sweet potato. I am into this Ithaca hummus. So I like the garlic one the most, and I'll just do like 3 spoonfuls and then go on my merry way. So I don't eat the whole thing. It's a little too big to eat it all in one sitting. Snack-wise, I think I pulled this one up earlier. Nope, those are the heels. So I do this Justin's peanut butter pouches or little peanut butter packs. So I'll get those peanut butter and almond butter. None of the fancy stuff. They have it with vanilla and honey and all the other things. I don't do that, of course. And I'll throw them in my car. I'll throw them in my backpack. I just have them around. That way, if I get to a place where I'm like, ooh, I'm really hungry, or if I go on a kid's school trip and I'm hungry, then I just grab one of these. So many times we'll go on these school trips, and they're cool. They will provide, say, Chick-fil-A or something. But most of that is nothing that I'm going to eat. So I'll just grab peanut butter or the beef jerky, which I think I've got that one up as well. See if I can find that. Yep, there you go. Archer's grass-fed beef sticks. So it's not beef jerky, it's a beef stick. And these are minis and individually wrapped, so they're great. I guess the bad part is when I throw them in my car, I have no idea how old they are, so I just eat them anyway. I do weird things, like I'll take the a squirt of peanut butter and then bite some of the beef stick or the beef jerky, so I've got a weird flavor in my mouth. I'll also use the beef jerky as a spoon in the guacamole, so I'm getting my protein and my fat right there. And yes, I am back on caffeine. I've got, let's say today's the 28th, so I got 2 more days where I can drink caffeine. Apparently I drink it poorly, and then I'll go back off because I have a race coming up. Okay, what else we got? So that's on the eat side. I try to keep it pretty consistent. If you ask my family, hey, what does your dad eat? They could probably rattle off. I don't vary outside of what I'm eating very much. Okay, so that's enough about the eat side. I eat pretty consistent, and I stay away from those sugary stuff for the most, or not for the most part. That is my goal: stay away from sugar, and so I've eliminated other things. Next would be on the sleep or recovery. So yeah, I do try to get 8 hours of sleep. I would be better served if I would stop drinking water around 7:30, so I didn't have to go to the bathroom so much. The other thing that I do that many people skip out on in our gym is rolling. So I would not buy a foam roller. Instead, I would go to Home Depot and get this. It's a 2-foot long, 3-inch in diameter PVC pipe, and they're only $11. Whereas like the foam roller, which is the exact same thing except it's going to be softer, is like $97 or something. So it does hurt more, but that's sort of the point. You're trying to roll stuff out. So I will roll on this guy every day at the gym. So I work out. When I'm done, I roll. I will even sacrifice some of the time. So let's say we're doing a workout and I don't know, we're just getting close to the end. So there's only 5 minutes left in class, but I'm still doing the workout and I have 5 minutes left. I'll just stop the workout and go and get the roller because I know it's important to me. Now, many times I have the time to just sit there and do the rolling, and it is fun to talk with people after class. But a lot of people skip that. I think rolling is great. It's sort of a very inexpensive masseuse. So for at Home Depot, you can buy this here in Woodstock, Georgia for $10.96. You can have your own masseuse. You just sit on it. I roll out my right glute, left glute. Actually, I have a video on that in my playlist, so you can go see what I do to rolls. I think if you just type in like rolling or foam roll or maybe even PVC roll, I don't know, it should come up. So I do glutes, lower back, and then my quads, especially my IT bands. And I do that every time. And I've been able to keep very good mobility. I do like to be super warm. So in the winter, I will wear like a hoodie and lots of gear so that I'm super warmed up when it's time to do the workout. All right. So that's on the recovery side. I'm rolling. I do listen to my body. So like even today, my knee is not great after I tore a meniscus in a mountain biking race. And so we had weighted box steps. So I just made the box smaller and I used a less of a weight. And so, yeah, it's not RX, but whatever, I don't care. And even after that, my knee feels a little bit strange. So I spend a little bit more time rolling out. It wasn't actually my knee joint. It was the muscle right around there. So I just spent some more time giving it some love. So listen to your body. Make sure you're doing the right stuff. Again, I already talked about eat smart. The thing that I probably mess up the most in is I don't have enough salts in my life. So I probably should be adding more salt, but I do go out to eat. So, I mean, sometimes you got to go have entertainment and live life, right? So I'm not against eating out. I just try to avoid the drive-thrus. And so you're going to get salt that way. I probably am also missing some iodine in my salt. So the salt that I do choose to use, let's see if I've got it up here. Yeah, here we go. It's that, oopsie, I lost a picture. It's called real salt. And it's in a mostly white bag with the blue and red kind of prints on it. And, you can get this anywhere. It's at Publix or most grocery stores. You can get it right here. I've got a picture of it from Amazon, so you can get it there as well. And then I do use something, guided meditation. I did that a lot. Now I just use random fun podcasts, but the guided meditation is great. Oh, that's not the right one. Is that it? Yeah, here you go. Some guided meditation. So anything is good. It just walks you through the sleep cycle. So guided sleep meditation are the keywords you would use. And you can, right now I got this up on a search on YouTube, and you can play any of these. I had one that I had purchased off of iTunes that was 40 minutes long, but then you could play it at 30 minutes, 20 minutes, 15 minutes, 10 minutes, and 5 minutes, and just cut things out. And that's a great way, if your mind is always racing, to have it think about something and build a habit of getting into sleep. So the bed is for sleep. It's not for watching TV and reading books and all that. So I pretty much, it's for two things, right? And the other thing you just ask, someone about if you don't know. And then the other one is sleep. So it shouldn't be a place that is super chaotic. So anyway, get your sleep, roll, recover, listen to your body. This is what I use right now. I listen to a podcast by the Dungeon Dudes, and it's just a D&D podcast. It's it doesn't matter if I sleep through the episode, so I just listen and then I'll go back somewhere in the middle and try to start re-listening the next night because I never make it through it all. Okay, so move. I use CrossFit. Why? Because I have found after all the things that I've done that this is like the hack towards fitness. It keeps you moving. You're going to go below parallel, which a lot of people can't get off the toilet when they're older. You're going to lift heavy stuff. You're going to run for some distance with some cardio. You're going to do interesting movements. You're always learning. So you can do the pat the head, rub the tummy. So there's this neurological adaptation that happens. It's just a great method that's cross fitness, right? We're crossing the boundaries of times and modalities to gain fitness. The sweet spot for CrossFit is couplets and triplets, so 2 movements or 3 movements in the 8 to 12 minute time frame. They want to move with intensity. They don't want you to have go so long that now you're just using an oxidative state. So we're using the 3 primary states that they talk about, glycogen, phosphagen, or glycolytic, phosphagen, and oxidative. Those pathways, those energy pathways to get things moving. Yes, it is possible to have very low carbs in your body. Like I do not do sugars and I very rarely eat carbs. I do eat vegetables and stuff, so I'm getting carbs. But you can work out like that. It's weird at first. For probably the first like 6 months, I felt like there was a monkey on my back and I just wasn't moving very well. And then my body got used to burning fats and yeah, no problem. I even do these 12-hour races, 24-hour races with this. So my meals out there, it's those wagon wheels. I'll take meat and cheese and put a pickle in there and some mustard and roll them up and eat those, right? So anyway, CrossFit is my method of choice right now. So don't let perfect be the enemy of done. So yes, I would love to do CrossFit 5 days a week, but my daughter also plays soccer and she needs a ride to practice because she does not drive. And so in my hierarchy, being dad comes first. My hierarchy of lists of things that I want to do, my Maslow's hierarchy of needs or whatever. Anyway, mine is I want to be dad first. And so what does my kid need? In this case, she can't drive. She needs someone to drive her. I'm going to take her. I still want to move. I still want to work out. So now, until she's done with soccer, Tuesday is my run day and Thursday is my bike day. So I don't typically bike ever except at the gym on the Rogue Echo bike. So this is good for me. It's giving my rear end the calluses it needs to make it through the next adventure race. I'll probably do better in the racing because of it, because I'm actually, getting on my bike. Anyway, so don't let perfect be the enemy of done. So I'm still moving. Yeah, it's not CrossFit, but whatever. And so if we have a workout where there is a lot of running, I will usually do something else and just tell the coach, hey, Tuesday's my run day, and I just ran, and it's Wednesday, so my knee isn't great if I do a lot of running. Can I either scale it back or get on the rower or get on the bike or do something else? And usually she's got something that she'd like me to do, which is great. Yes, I know. I own the place, and I listen to my coach because it's really hard to mess up when it's someone else telling you, like, hey, I see this, how about try that? When it's myself, oh man, I will talk myself into doing the heavier weights and do the box steps and be like, oh no, my knee. So ask, listen, and they're going to give you some good advice. Okay, so I do the run bike. I don't really do anything on the weekends in terms of like specific fitness. I do walk the dogs. I do a lot of yard work. We have a pretty big yard. So that does happen. I'm outside a lot. Whether it's with soccer or my own races or whatever. We try to be pretty active on the weekends, but not specifically, 3, 2, 1, go. For fun, my trajectory, my long goal, my thing that I'm planning for are these adventure races. So I've got several stacked up. I've got one in September. I got another one in November. And then I know there's one coming up on St. Patrick's Day that I'll do. I'll probably put one in between that. But that helps me kind of keep that mentality of, oh, something's coming. It should be fun. This is going to be neat. I'm going to go do that. I would love to have more of you guys race with me. Randy has committed to doing another one with me, and I promise, buddy, not to tell you to not bring your water so that you die of thirst. Sorry about that. There is something that I try to do that I haven't really made a thing in my life yet. It's happened maybe 2 or 3 times, and that's this idea of a 12-hour walk. So you just basically turn off technology and you go for a walk in the woods for 6 hours one way and 6 hours back. I have done 4-hour walks, 2 hours out and 2 hours back over at oh man, where is that? It's Etowah Park over by the high school. Is that Etowah? It's by the sewer plant right there. Not Etowah River Park. That is one though. It's called Bowling Park. There's a nice trail system that goes out and along the creek, and you can go pretty far with that. A warning, if you do that one, it does just randomly dead end, and you're like, oh, trail's done. There's a Forest Service road you could like walk around on, but it's not on any trails and it's not part of it. So you should just turn around and come back. You can also make laps somewhere else. It doesn't really matter, but that is something that I try to do. Just, I am not a fan of being alone in my head. And this is the one time where I'm like, yes, let's get alone in my head. I'll bring a notepad and a pencil and I just go to town. So that's a move, but it's also mindset, which is going to come next. And other things that I do is, let's see if I've got notes on this one. So I'm at this NASA park right here, this noonday park. You can see there's a lot of fields to bike or jog around. And actually down here on the south side of it, there's a quest field park. So I do that. The adventure races I do through this Warrior adventure racing company. They used to be called AR Georgia or Georgia AR, and they're changing their name to Warrior because, well, it sounds cooler, and they do races outside of Georgia, so it just would make more sense to not just be called Georgia. Anyway, these guys are great. The web address is it's still argeorgia.com, but they're changing their name to Warrior Adventure Racing. They've got some great races in there. So I walk the dogs. I got a Great Pyrenees. You probably saw him. Well, some of y'all saw him in this video. The dog is huge, and he's only 10 months old. And so we do a walk every day. Who was it? Skylar. We did a podcast. It'll be coming out. I actually don't know when it'll come out, but he had put this on the billboard, and it was, be the person your dog thinks you are. I love that. And my dog thinks I'm the guy who will take him on walks because I love him. And it's really hot and it's hot right now and hard to make the walks happen, but I am trying hard because the dog really wants to go on walks. So yeah, I'm going to go on a walk with you. It's hard to put it in the day. It's in my calendar every day. It does get moved around though. Okay. I also, as you guys probably know, let me see if I can pull up that playlist. So here's Ollie the dog, so a playlist for him. You can go check that out and see him grow. And then I also have chickens on our small little farm, and I spend time out there taking care of those guys. So I am pretty active outside. The daily chores for the chickens during the week is probably only 10 minutes long. It's pretty easy. I've got the system down pretty good. The weekends is where I'll do some more repairs or anything that needs to happen. Usually it's running pretty smooth, but I will build up a list of things I need to do and then try to crunch it out one weekend, especially if my kids are home, which they hate. They're like, no, Dad, I'm not coming home. Don't count on me to do that stuff. All right. So the next thing is a mindset. Probably the biggest thing that I have found is the shift from I have to I get to. So like I said with Evie, she needs a ride to soccer. Well, do I have to do it? Or, hey, do I get to do that? I want to be an active dad. So I think part of being an active dad is I get to do these things with my kids. So I change it in my head. Like, hey, she's got practice 3 nights a week. I get to drive her. Which days do I get? Hey, I'll take all 3. No, you want 1? All right, I'll take 2 then, right? So it's the way you look at the chores you have in your life. Is it a burden to you, or are you leaning into it and saying, hey, this is joy to me, right? And I get to do extra things. So I take her there, and then I'll watch for a few minutes and then go for my jog or bike. And then I come back and I watch for another few minutes and I can see what's going on. So I get to be part of her life, and I get to be active in that. And I choose the mindset of I get to rather than I have to. I also look at life as an adventure. So it does stink when bad things happen. And I don't have a good reason why those things happen. Nobody ever does, right? So why do good things happen, or why do bad things happen to good people? Yeah, and I guess, and why do good things happen to bad people? I don't know. But life is an adventure. And if you always played on God mode, like, you had the invincibility mode, the cheat code, up, down, left, up, whatever, and you could be in that invincible mode, then life would be really boring and no one would really enjoy it. So anybody who's played games, when you turn that mode on and you just walk through the game, you're like, yeah, you know what? It wasn't very cool. It's interesting to have drama, not in a negative sense, but you have like tension and resolution. So what is going on? I don't create drama for the sake of dramas, just having drama, but life has drama in it. And so there is tension, there is resolution. How can I use my mindset and my abilities to drive the resolution to something positive? That's what I'm looking at. So if like one thing that I've been doing for, the last couple of years is when I pull into a shopping center that has shopping carts, if there's carts out, then I'll just grab them and bring them back in. Or if I see someone unloading their cart into their, trunk or whatever, as I get close, I'll say, hey, would you like me to take your cart back? Because it is a little creepy to stand right there and wait without letting them know, which I've done before. Thinking I was being nice, they just thought I was being creepy. So I take things back for people. If I see trash on the ground, I will pick it up. Why? Because it's just the right thing to do. Why wouldn't you, right? So if you're of the mindset, no, I don't do those things. Man, don't hang around me. You're going to hate the gym that we have. You're going to hate the environment that I'm creating. I'm creating a place where the glass is half full and we can put stuff in it to fill it up, right? Well, put more liquid in there. So if you don't have that mindset, yes, you don't want to be around us. This podcast probably isn't for you unless you're trying to turn your life around. How would you do it? Things like changing your mindset from I have to I get to, listening to podcasts like this, listening to podcasts that are focused on mindset, like Ben Bergeron's Chasing Excellence, good stuff like that. Anyway, so mindset is huge. I listen, actually, let me see if I got that up next here. So yes, we have a lot of homesteading chores. So I listen to a lot of stuff on Audible. I don't read very well, but I got books galore. So I've got this thing listed out. Let's see, there's 50 books per page. And if I get to the bottom, there's 18 pages. So that's more than 500 and less than 600 books that I've got listed. And I've been a member since, I think 2005. So when Audible came out, it was very difficult to get a book on a little MP3 player, which they don't really exist anymore. Well, actually, they do. They're in your phone. Everybody's playing MP3s. But there used to be individual things that would play MP3s, right? And you'd have to figure out how to get your car to actually play it. So you get one of those cassette tapes that had wires coming out of it with an aux port. And so it was kludgy and hard, but I was listening to books way back then. And me and my kids, or at least two of them, listen to a lot of books now. It's a great way, listen, while you do chores. It's a great way to do more things. Like, so I habit stack all this stuff. I get to take Evie to practice. I am now going to go for a jog while I listen to a book or a podcast, right? So I've been a podcast listener for a long time. Something else that I do on this mindset, or actually, let me back that up. This is relationship and fun. I'm going to move into something different. So part of the things I do, they coexist in the same place, like CrossFit. It is for move, but it's also relationship and fun. I spent an extra 20 minutes talking to Aaron today, and we were just, I can't even tell you what we were talking about. We were just talking about life. That's good stuff. So you find groups of people, and if you have that Venn diagram where you can have the overlapping circles, live in that place where they overlap. Even if it's not perfect, it's going to be the people are moving in that same direction. You can put a lot of these items into the same buckets, right? So anyway, into relationships, I try to have fun. As I get older, I realize that life is what you make it. I was the guy that nobody really threw out invitations all the time to say, hey, let's do something fun. I was a guy that always threw stuff out. I really didn't even think about that until one of my kids one day said, hey, we're always inviting people over. What about waiting for someone to invite us? I'm like, that may or may not happen. So I'm going to keep doing the inviting. That's just who I am. So I do enjoy getting groups together. One thing that we do, I've got two groups that play Dungeons and Dragons together. Yes, it's a weird game. Is it for nerds? Sure, I guess. It was in Stranger Things. It's fun. And it's just a board game without a board. But the bigger thing is it gets me together with 5 guys that I don't get to see very much. And we have a great time doing this, talking about life. And we're all in our 50s. And it's just fun to do life with those guys and talk about the same sort of struggles and triumphs together, right? And then I've got a group from the gym that we play together. And that's a lot of fun because I get to know them a whole lot more outside of the sweaty bit, right? And then we have even more jokes inside the gym. I'm getting to meet interesting people. Jamie brought her sister and partner to the last game, and that was fun to get them to experiment with how to play D&D. It's just a blast, right? I get to hang out with Cruzado, which I don't really get to see anymore because he moved to up in Canton, so switched gyms. So boo on you, Jonathan, if you listen to this, come back to the gym. Anyway, so it's fun to hang out with those sort of people. Other things that I'll do is my daughter said, hey, Dad, when I come back from college, I'd like to do some line dancing. I'm like, heck yeah, hold my beer, I am in. So we found a place, Brimstone Tavern, which is over in Alpharetta. I got their website pulled up right here. Let's see. Yeah, brimstonetavern.com. That easy. And they have got line dancing on Mondays and Wednesdays, and shag dancing, and there's another country night. I didn't know that. Every first Friday. So anyway, she said, Dad, let's go dancing. And if I looked at my list, family, active dad. Okay, good. Move. All right, now I'm going to go dancing. I'm going to get some extra moving in there, and I'm having fun. And it's a great mindset. Like, take a deep breath. Someone else is leaving. They have the event. They sort of invited me. Not really, but I get to go and do that. So line dancing, super fun. I do play some games on PC, not as much as I used to. I play a really old game called Supreme Commander. I think it came out in like 1999, and they keep updating it. It's a really good real-time strategy game. We play a lot of board games, or we did play a lot. We play some now, but board games are great. I listen to or invite people over to play board games. I listen to podcasts and I share those out, and we talk about those things. So it's a great way to have common points to talk about. I do make YouTube videos, which is a lot of fun. So it helps kind of like create and build some bonds and relationships. I just did a podcast over with Sue Becker from Bread Beckers, and it aired today. What is today? The 28th? And we already have like 6 or 7 people emailing in or getting on our leads form because they heard us talk about like how to be healthy and fit. So Sue and I have very different ways to get Woodstock fit, or healthy, but it's still that same Venn diagram. We overlap, just not in the same way, hey, we both have gyms, right? So we can help each other out. We can broaden each other's audience's mindsets and the things they get to see. It's just been great doing things like this, creating the opportunity to work with people that I may not really get to know or have a reason to reach, but now I do because we're creating some content together, right? Walking the dogs is great. Now, walking Ollie is not a great way to meet people and have a relationship because he is a jerk when we're walking. And as the trainer told me, it's really me being the jerk because I don't understand him, which I get after, 50 years of life. I get most of the time it's me that's the jerk and this idiot. And I'm working on that. So some other stuff for mindset is I also do some breath work. So it's that Wim Hof breathing. It's basically, just breathe in slowly, hold, exhale slowly, hold, and repeat, right? Just do that a little bit of time. I also have a men's group that I'm in. So this is great. It's a Bible study on Tuesday mornings. We get together. We go through some chapters. We have a fellow that is a bit older than, I guess we range in age. I'd say most of the guys are in their 40s to 50s. There's some youngers. And then, oh man, I can't think of, this is what happens when you turn 50. All the names run together. So anyway, we have a leader of the pack, and I'm going to have to pause and look this up because this is bothering me. Okay, well, fortunately, as I grabbed my phone, it came to me. So great. I love it when my Google search happens in my head on its own. So Mike Teston leads us, and he's got great wisdom. He's maybe 10 or 20 years older than me, and he's been there before. So the things I'm asking about, he's like, yes, that's going to happen. No worries, right? And so it's great to have that relationship and that mindset work, right? So these things are overlapping. So if you can, list out your priorities, the things in your life that you really want to hang on to, the things that are important to you. So it might look something like this. My relationship with God, my relationship with my family. Inside of that, you might break it up to wife, then children, then my parents, then my siblings, and then all the other extended family. Maybe, I don't know, right? And then below that is my personal health. If I went to the doctor, would he say, yeah, thumbs up? And then my personal fitness, right? Which one means more to you? I think if I had to choose, I would eat better and sleep well versus go get sweaty. People will die if they don't sleep. I've seen people make it a very long time never exercising, which, isn't great. They're going to have a bad end of life experience, but it can happen, right? And I've also seen people eat pretty bad and live a long time. I mean, everyone knows that one lady who's like a great grandma. She's 110 and she smokes like 10 packs a day and drinks, Pabst Blue Ribbon all the time. You're like, how are you doing this? There are genetic freaks, and those people can make that work. But for the rest of us, there's Festivus, right? For the rest of us, we need to do some smart things over time. Okay. So some other things that I mentioned, I would actually tell you what I do in this relationship arena. So it's good and bad. You are like the 5 people you hang around the most. So if you hang around 5 like millionaires, you'll become the 6th sooner or later. If you hang around 5 jerks, you're going to be the 6th jerk sooner or later. So watch out who you're hanging out with. Right? We see this with our kids, but we don't necessarily see it in our own life. So I have tried to up the relationships or contact and just being around, like offering, hey, what do you need help, right? Just being there, being available, texting, calling, whatever. To those that seem to be on that same trajectory, and I've reduced the contact with people that are not on the same trajectory. And yeah, it kind of stinks, but you sort of have to do that. Otherwise, you only have a finite amount of time. What are you going to do with it? I'm 50, more than likely, I'm almost 50, more than likely half of my life is over. I want to be very pointed with the things that I'm doing. My wife comes first, my kids come next, for sure. If my son said, hey, would you come out to UGA and hang out with me? And my dad called and said, hey, would you like to hang out with me? I would go to see Evan in a heartbeat, right? Now, actually, I would mix that solution. I'd say, hey, Dad, why don't you jump in the car and go to UGA with me? He'd be like, yeah, let's do it. So I would probably cheat the system. I always I I always like it when people bend or break the rules. Not maybe break, but like come up with ways to do things that is not intended. I love hacking the system. That's what I love doing. Anyway, I will text my kids, the two at college, almost every day and just say, hey, tell me a story. Hey, something. Hey, right? Just let them know I love you. You're beautiful. I want to talk with you, right? I have the picture sitting on Innovates. This is going to come up later, but it was better than Brimstone Tavern, I guess. But maybe I'll leave it on D&D for a moment so you guys can just look at the D&D screen. Anyway, we also have, maybe you don't do this. I really think everyone does, but it seems so obvious, but maybe you don't. We have family text groups. So I've got my entire, so my wife and my 4 kids in a group. Then we have the those that just live in the house right now group. So, 2 different groups. I also have a group with my siblings. So there's 5 of us in that. And then, I guess there's my old Georgia Tech buddies group. So we've got different groups that we text into. So yeah, I know it's not one of the social medias, it's not Snapchat, whatever, but we're talking and we're communicating and we're staying connected using technology, right? Not just, I think this is wrong if you use social media to stay connected, because you're not really connected. You're just seeing their life. You're watching their life. You're not interacting with their life. And you may comment, oh, nice, or whatever, right? I think if you see a picture of somebody on Facebook that is interesting to you, or Instagram, maybe, put a little note in there or heart it or whatever you do, but text them or call them and say, hey, I see you went to the Grand Canyon. Tell me about that. And they're like, yeah, who doesn't want to talk about their favorite subject, them, and the stuff they just did, right? The other thing that's sort of a cheat for me is this overlapping Venn diagram of the gym. We have put up, it was probably like 6 years ago, we came up with mission, vision, all that stuff, and our motto, like who we are and who we're trying to attract. And that is, we are happy, humble, helpful people who want to be healthy and fit now, as well as in our 90s. If that agrees with you, then you're probably going to enjoy this environment. And the nice thing is, over the last 6 years, this motto has been out there and people know this is who we are. And so many of the people in the gym follow that ideal or have that as maybe it's number 2 or 3 on my list, but thumbs up, right? And so I am able to find people that I am super interested in. And, it's like we have like 6 people now that are doing chickens. Why? I don't know, but they want to live that better life. And one way is to have know your food's source. So they're interested in growing food. So I'm helping them as much as they need, right? But anyway, so I get to know those people. So they're interested in CrossFit. They're interested in chickens. I found some people that are also interested in doing adventure races or playing Dungeons and Dragons or whatever, right? So you're finding people in these groups that are like you, and you want to invest into those groups. So the gym gives me a hack for funneling down people that I'm pretty sure I would probably be friends with if I had enough time in the world, right? Anyway, so it's pretty helpful and it's a useful, tool or hack or whatever for me. Same thing for people in the gym. I've seen people watch them go, hey, I just listened to a podcast about you. I didn't know that you fill in the blank. Did you know that I also fill in the blank, right? And so now they're communicating and talking on a subject that they both really love at a place that they both really enjoy. So anyway, it's just super fascinating. Okay. So that is the eat, sleep, move, mindset, relationship pillars and what I do with them personally. I wish I had found this earlier in life, but whatever. I'm 50 and I'm on the journey and I don't have the cheat codes, but this is what I'm there now and I'm happy to try to aim to a better place. Okay. So I promised you what I would do at the very end is tell you some of the gear I use. Spoiler, I don't really use any gear. I am of the opinion, if your body can't do it, don't do it. Train it to do it. So I don't care if people use them, but I don't use stuff like I don't use belts. I don't use hand, wrist wraps. I don't use, sleeves for my hands. So I don't rip. If I'm going to rip, I just get off the bar, right? I don't use platform shoes to do Olympic lifts. I figure if my ankles are too tight, I should probably stretch my ankles, right? So I don't need the elevation. I should fix my body. I'm also not an Olympic lifter, so I don't really care if I do it like a little bit wrong, whatever. I do use Innovate shoes. So if they say cross training shoes and clothing. I don't know if they can say CrossFit, but it's all like rogue gear. And there's a dude who is just basically doing, I mean, everything in there screams CrossFit, but I don't think there's a single word CrossFit in this picture. No, there isn't. So the shoes that I like, let's see if they've just got them right up here. I mean, they've got platform and all this stuff. I just used the general one. Let's see if I can find that. Barefoot, let me pause this. Yeah, there we go. So I do use two shoes from them. One is these, I really like these F-Lights. Recently, they've added a whole lot more gushiness to the bottom. I don't know, the sole or whatever. It's just too thick for me, so I have not been buying those. I like very low profile, minimal drop shoes. But I did really enjoy the F-Lights. They're super light. So they've got one called the Bear XF, so CrossFit 210s. And the 210, I think if I remember right, it's 210 grams at a men's 9, size 9. So that's, or US 9, I think. Or maybe it's UK 9, because this is a UK company. But I use these shoes, and let's see if I can get a better color that shows you. Yeah, so you get, well, if you're watching the video, you can see this. There's some rope guard, so it's got some stuff along the side that allows the rope to slide rather than burn through your shoe. How about this white one? Yeah, you can see a little bit better. And you can see there's very little sole. So it's not a great shoe to go running in. It won't last that long. But in the gym, I mean, I use these shoes. I've got I'm looking behind me. I think I have one more pair ready to go. So when this newest brand that newest shoe that I just started wearing, when it finally wears out, which will probably take 5 years, I have another one waiting to go. I also like their running shoe, which is one of these these F-Lights. It's not the F-Light. I have to go look it up. But I don't particularly use it for CrossFit. It's just the shoe that I go with on my, if I'm out, jogging or whatever. I should go find that for you. Well, I couldn't find it. It's something like F-Light G 240s or 230s. The other shoes that I like to wear are these Lems, and they're just super low, lightweight, flexible, with a wide toe box and a zero drop. So it's a very minimalistic shoe. I'm looking on their website right now. They're showing their shoes float. I don't know about that, but I do really like their shoe. So that's about all the gear I use. I'll buy some shoes in particular, and after that, it's nothing. Supplement wise, I take some fish oil, but I don't really use much of anything else. If I am of the belief of the best supplement you should take is real food. So change your food and eat real stuff. And then that's going to move the needle by like 10 to 20%. And then when you want to move the needle like 1 more percent, that's when you get into supplements and stuff. Now, conversely, like Levi is trying to get bulk and use hypertrophy to really grow his muscles. That's totally different. He should be taking creatine. He should be drinking some whey. He needs, proteins and all that all the time. There's never a time when he shouldn't be doing that. But anyway, it's a good little, these are good shoes. Let's see if I have any other gear. So, I don't use grips. I don't have a CrossFit bag. Bags tend to get stinky, so I don't really use them. And I used to wrestle, and we would put our sweaty stuff in the bag, and then you would end up with like bacteria staph and whatever. So I'm just like, whatever, no bag. Whatever the workout is, I'll just do. The only part that really gets me is if there's rope climbs. I would normally like to have a sock to protect my leg, although I'm pretty good at climbing it without burning, but every once in a while you get tagged by the rope and that kind of hurts. I also don't use my own jump rope. So I like the randomness of, hey, can I jump with a random jump rope? Now, I think it's a dumb thing. I would definitely say get your own jump rope, but I do like the challenge of, hey, just grab a rope. It's about the right size. Let's see if I can make it work. I also don't do very many double unders because of my knee. But in the open, I totally do. And in the open, I really wish I had my own rope, which I do. It's somewhere, but I've displaced it somewhere. So something else that we use that's been great is this shoe blower. So here's a picture of it. This isn't exactly the right one, but it's the same thing. Essentially, it's like 4 hair dryers, and you put your shoes on top of them. So you can put 4 shoes or two sets of pairs, whatever, on there and turn it on so you can heat it or just make it blow air, and it blows all the stink right out of the shoes. Man, I love that thing. And, of course, every once in a while you can throw it in the washer. Instead of putting it through the dryer, you can put it back on this guy to let them dry out. That's really good stuff. Let's see. Other things that I do is I do use the smaller bar. So I call it the right-sized hand bar. So I like the 35-pound bar. I have smaller hands. I can either hook grip, which I don't normally do, but it helps my grip out a bit. We did add a small bar to the rig, and the girls really love that. So it's a thinner bar. We'll probably get some more if they're like, yeah, thumbs up, and we need it at these heights. One thing that I do use a lot is these heel seats. So it's actually called, it's called Heal That Pain heel seats. And they're in a pink and blue box, and they're just basically like a heel cup. But if you notice, well, in the picture you'll notice this, but what they've got is a bump just after your heel to push that fascia, that plantar's tendon up. And I use them all the time, even when my foot doesn't hurt. I don't run in them because that would probably hurt, but it'll push, it'll extend or lengthen that tendon, and it has helped my plantar's problem. So there was a time when I would get out of bed and have to crawl around until my feet felt better. Did a bunch of things, but this was the one that somebody had said try, and I was like, I will try everything, and it's worked out. So I love these little guys. So something else that I do that's to fix my OCD. So I love to have things in order and lined up, and I hate that I love it, so I fight it. And one way I fight that is, so when we're at the gym loading up plates and stuff, whatever's up next, I just grab and put on, even if it's the wrong size. And not every 45-pound plate is the same size. If it's not the same brand, whatever, I don't care. Or the small change plates. I mean, I do care, but I'm trying hard not to care. So it's been an interesting place to help me overcome my desire for lines and order. Okay, that's it. We do a lot of other things. Maybe I'll do a different show about all the weird health and fit or food and healthy things we do, like doing oils and whatever. We got a lot of things that we do over here that we've tried. Some things have worked out really well. Some things haven't. But this is me in a nutshell. It can be you. I'm not saying that it's perfect, but I am saying I'm giving it a shot. So I'm looking at these things as nutrition, sleep, exercise, mindset, relationships, and saying if these are the 5 principles of health that they say will help you live a good, long life. Again, I would add finances, because if you have no money, this is going to suck. Then I'm trying hard to dive into those with having the ranking system of what I find important. Not just like the people in my life that I would do, but also qualities in my life. So happy, humble, helpful. I choose happy. I choose glasses half full. Humble. If somebody is, I guess if they build you up, sure, let them, what do they say? Humility is my best quality. So, right. Pride, right? Be humble. Take the last seat rather than the first seat. And helpful. Man, I help people. Why would you not help people, right? So help put somebody else first. I don't know. Why not? I guess as a dad, you want your kids to do well, and you hope somebody else is looking out for your kids while they're out and about. So if I see somebody's kid, I will totally help them, right? There's a lady who was on, well, actually this was an older couple, but who was it? Me and Evie were coming back from soccer back in, I don't know, I guess it was February, March-ish when it was cold. And there was a truck on the side of the road, and there was an older lady changing a tire. And so I pulled over, turned around, and got behind them. And she's like, what are you doing? I was like, well, I mean, she looks a lot older than us, and I'm pretty fit. So if she's got a flat tire, I could probably help her. And she was like, I want my kids to see that, and I want to be that person. Because it's the right thing to do, not because I'm getting it paid forward or, I don't know. It's just the right thing to do to help people when you can. All right, guys. Hey, this is CrossFit Garage. This is part of what we do. This is our podcast. Levi is my co-host. He'll be on here sooner or later. Levi, thank you for setting up my computer and making it work for me. Hopefully you guys like this format. And if you need help in your health and fitness walk, come to CrossFit Garage. You can, let's see, I'm on the website right now. If you fill out this form, it'll set you up in our system. You don't have to come in for a no sweat intro. That's when you're going to come in and talk to Coach Jamie about what you want and what you need and how we can help you, or if we can help you. So we're not a great fit for everybody. Everyone can do CrossFit, but some people's idea and what they really want isn't what we can do. Hey, I'm going to go to the games. Yeah, that's not us. So anyway, if you fill that out, you'll get in our system. You do not have to come in for that. You can just listen or get the emails and listen to the podcast and whatever, and we're here to help. Or you can hit me at andy@crossfitgarage.com. I'd be happy to talk with you. This is what we do. We want to help people become the hero of their own stories and get their life back. All right, guys, take care. Thank you so much for giving me your time and your patience.